turn the mic on, make sure that it's going there. Live from Sharksburg, Inside Raider Nation Playoff Edition. Sonny Zapata along with Coach Mann. And Coach Mann, two-time district champ, two-time by-district champ. As you take care of Travis 59-6. We're going to talk about that. Got a lot of things to talk about. But we have to, first of all, thank our sponsors and talk a little bit about the season is a season, right? But, Coach, when you get to playoffs, talk about how the Booster Club and what they have to do and all the things that are involved around playoffs, and just because they think it's over, and the Booster Club is still working hard for these young men and for this long playoff run. Oh,
it's extremely difficult because now, you're constantly – during the season, you know your schedule. You know when you're going to travel. You know what time you're going to be getting out. I mean, we know that a lot of that stuff weeks in advance. And, for the Booster Club, for prepping meals, getting meals ordered, every Thursday, here's the freshman roster, here's the JV roster, here's Friday and all that. Now it's okay, where are we at? What's going on? It's late Sunday afternoon. Okay, here's where we're playing to Monday. Okay, this is what the roster is going to look like this week. Certain places we're not going to be able to travel everyone like we want because of
and it wouldn't go without thanking the sponsors as well, because without those guys, all the shout outs, by the way, some of those were really awesome. And they're going to continue to do that, I think, up until Wednesday, right?
I believe that's correct.
So they're going to open up that again, and we'll have the information available hopefully by noon on Wednesday, where you can watch the live stream. It'll be in either NFHS or your A to Z Sports Media team taking care of that. But we'll let you know on noon on Wednesday, and the boosters, they'll communicate that like they always do. That's one of the things, Coach. This is probably, last year was good. This year has been even better communication with the parents, and we're just keeping up to date with what's going on with Rouse Raider football.
Yeah, we're growing. I mean, each year this thing gets bigger, it gets better, and with that, it obviously comes other things and other hiccups along the way as you keep improving and doing platforms that we're doing now. It invites open criticism, but at the same time, they've done a tremendous job of getting information out, roster updates, information, balancing a lot of that. They take so much off of my plate. I don't stress or worry where we're at with those things, and it allows us as coaches just to focus on the part that we want to do, which is football.
That's what it's about. And we're going to go and thank our sponsors. We have to, of all the sponsors, AutoNation, Chevy, West Austin, premier sponsor, along with Crossover, Smile Doctors, Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue, Chaparral Ice Center. One of the playoff sponsors this season was Express Oil Change and Tire Engineers. And then also Jamie Armstrong with eXp Realty, Texas Medicare Advisors, Covert Cadillac, and the fine folks at Texas Regional Bank.
Yeah, you also got Lacombe Chiropractic and Massage Center. They do a free, Saturday clinics to help for recovery for our guys as well. Yard Bash, all the cool things that they're doing for our team and promoting them. Rock Springs, One Touch Point, did our awesome playoff little rosters. Programs, that's the word I'm looking for, a big one there. Programs at the game last week, that was really cool. Serenity Pools, obviously Sharpsburger, again, was our first down sponsor as well, I believe, last week. Is that correct?
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, it was really neat having them jump on again and adding to their sponsor level. That was really cool to see. Yeah. The Grove, and everybody else that's out there really supporting us. It's been awesome.
Yeah, all those shout-outs, Coach.
The shout-outs were amazing.
Really good.
I think the one from Las Vegas, the Yates family.
That was the winner. We're going to judge him. And
that was awesome.
And we have to give Brandy Mann the kudos for having a Christmas tree up. That was really cool in front of the Christmas tree, which makes me feel like I'm still behind. I'm still eating Halloween candy.
You're not behind. We're way early.
That's okay. And because we just, off air, we talked about it. Coach, it's like next week. It's Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And at this time last year, we were just getting through the season, and now we're getting into its postseason, which kind of getting back to normal, but really you kind of forget what normal was. But it's crazy how the time has gone by. But I know for you guys putting in the grind, you and your coaching staff have done an excellent job on and off the field, and so many things that people don't know that these guys have to deal with. Unless you've been in their shoes before, you have no idea. But we appreciate all you guys do.
Talking to my brother last night, we've played now 8 straight games since our bye week. So that's 8 straight weeks of no days off. When we don't, our coaches, we work Saturday mornings to, roughly 1, 2, sometimes 3 o'clock. Shout out to our Booster Club who provides us breakfast in those mornings. The parents that bring us breakfast meals. It's so blessed. That saves our lives, because no matter win, lose, or tie, we don't sleep. Very well. And then we're back up there, grinding away probably about 7:30 a.m. to sometimes 3 or 4 in the afternoon on Sundays. And so if we do what we're capable of, you could go another 5 weeks, would be 15 straight weeks without a break, and that's a lot of football. As much of it is on us, think about our players. I mean, that's a lot of football being played. That's a good thing, but it's also a lot of wear and tear. And so obviously this time of year, keeping guys healthy and moving on is a big challenge each and every week. Just can't take it for granted.
And we'll talk about how that depth of the roster came into play against Austin Travis. But we're going to jump in, and we're going to kind of reverse things a little bit, Coach. It was very dismal for a lot of people.
Let's get this misery over now.
This picks, we'll get those out of the way. I don't know. Cody, I don't know how he's doing this. I don't think he's studying. Cody's not here, by the way. Appreciate all executive producer does. Hopefully he's recovering so he can get ready for Friday. But he went 4-1 in both college and the pros. Chuck went 4-1. I mean, Chuck's got a lead. I think he's beyond us catching him.
I think we can almost retire the picks.
I think we could just retire and let Cody and Chuck fight it out as they're at the top. 2 and 3. Cowboys won, and they look like the Cowboys that they should have been against the Broncos. But I just saw the highlights. But
I'll
college,
take your word for it.
the college, it's just been crazy. The way, OU losing to Baylor. You just can't explain it.
Yeah,
I don't know what to say. It's college football, and that's the beauty of it, right? But we went into this week looking at our picks. We went Michigan State, Ohio State. I'm going to get to go see my brother-in-law, who's an Ohio State alum, so I did pick Ohio State. Coach did as well. So did Chuck. We all picked OU to rebound against Iowa State, which should set up a good Bedlam matchup next week between Oklahoma State and OU, as Oklahoma State taking on Tech. And we think Oklahoma State will win that one. Oregon, Utah, I still worry about Oregon. I'm not sure, but we all picked Oregon. And then Auburn, we think Auburn is going to take care of South Carolina. It's almost, I don't know that that's a sleeper game.
Sure.
Who knows? These days you can't really go that way. And then we had the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Chargers. We all took the Chargers.
Yes.
Pittsburgh did not look good against Detroit in a tie. Like nobody wanted to win the game. They both tried to give it away. And then Washington taking on the Carolina Panthers, even with Cam Newton back. Washington was able to take down the Bucks.
Yep.
Indy and Buffalo, that's going to be a good one, Coach. And we all think Buffalo is going to take care of Indianapolis. Dallas and Kansas City, we're sticking with the boys. Chuck's going to go with KC. Home field advantage is what he's telling me. The Cards and the Seahawks. Seahawks did not look good at all yesterday. And the Cards didn't as well. So I think between the two, with Russell Wilson, I don't know if he's back yet. Without him, that offense looks totally different. So we'll see how the picks continue to go. Not very good. So me and Coach Mann are fighting it out down in the cellar there. Cody and Chuck can worry about who gets first in that gigantic trophy. That's about that big.
Yeah.
Coach Mann is willing to give that one up. So as long as the Raiders keep winning, that's all we're worried about. So anyway, just a fun little pigskin pick 'em, and we'll have that again next week. We're up against our first break, so we'll take a break. We come back, we will have one of the coaches come up, and we'll get to talk to him. A very interesting conversation.
Yeah.
He's not shy to the mic at all.
No, not at all.
Not at all. And we'll ask him some of those tough questions as we have Inside Raider Nation here live from Sharksburger. We'll be back right after this. The Crossover's vision is to give kids and adults a chance to find out what they're passionate about and to motivate them to work hard to achieve great things. We want to bring families together in one destination where they can enjoy their time together no matter what dreams they are chasing. From here, you can go anywhere. The Crossover is Cedar Park's premier sports, wellness, and entertainment destination and is a proud supporter of Rouse Raiders football. Visit crossovertx.com to learn more and go Raiders. Welcome back to Inside Raider Nation, live here from Sharksburger. We appreciate Dino and all his crew taking care of us each and every week. And I have the privilege to now have him on camera. We had him last year up in the booth. We went on camera. And then this year he is now in the booth next to us as part of the coaching staff. And that is Coach Will Noble, Rouse alumni.
Rouse alumni and former co-host of Sonny here. So it's good to be back. And, I see you on the other side of the glass. And, kind of look back on those good games from last year. But, I'm loving where I'm at right now.
Talking about the good luck charm, Will was there when Rouse secured the first district championship in school history as an alum, being in the booth and seeing that. And then he comes back and he's on staff and they win it again, and now they're by-district champions 2 years in a row. So I just told him he has to retire Rouse Raider. That's just, there's no two ways about it.
Yeah, that's the goal, and I can't claim to be a good luck charm. I know how all the long hours, so I'm not going to take any credit from the last year's staff, but I know I've put in a lot of work this year, and this whole staff has, and that's the result, and it's been a fun ride.
Yeah. So you coach an offensive line with Coach Hayhurst, two former offensive linemen. You guys, he was at Oklahoma's second university, Oklahoma State, and you were at University of Houston. I always give him a hard time about that because my wife's an Oklahoma State fan as well.
Houston's first university, by the way.
The only university in Houston. So there you go. We'll give you that.
If you don't count Rice, I don't count it either.
I wouldn't count them. I wouldn't even put them in the conversation. But you were there. Now you get to come back and help these young linemen. You've got some good linemen. But this season has been kind of interesting for you guys because there's been a mix of young and veterans and players getting hurt, and you're having to mix match, even not just from game to game, but during the game, which is difficult.
Yeah, and that's been part of my job up in the booth is just, hey, this guy's limping on the sideline. Hey, that guy's going into the tent, and Hayhurst is just kind of turning around like, what the heck? I just put that guy in for somebody else. So it's been musical chairs at offensive line, but it's been an amazing job by the whole group of next man up and performing.
And you see this as a Rouse alum, and there's one thing that you can always say about a Rouse Raider football player. They're never going to give up regardless of what the score is, what kind of game it is. It doesn't matter what level it is. You see that now with the freshmen. You have hands-on with the freshmen in JV. That is I don't know what they're putting in the water, Coach, but there are some big kids and some good kids that are they're Rouse Raider football players. You just see it, and you're like, that kid just loves playing football. It is like a sponge, and you see it. There's not that they're learning, right? And you're able to teach them, and they're having success. Think about their season that they had, 9-1.
That was an amazing season. And, I think it's a testament to what we've done over the years. A lot of those freshmen came in as the Pee Wee Raiders. Mm-hmm. They all played together. I'm even fortunate enough to have a freshman tight end in my position group that has seen some action on the field, which is almost unprecedented here at Rouse at least. Yeah. So, those freshmen, they played hard. They played amazing all season, and we asked a lot from them. We put a lot on their plates, and they responded. And in games, they responded with corrections and changes. So they're an advanced group, and the future is bright with them.
It's bright. You do have the first freshman player in Rouse school history to start in a varsity game. That's Mason Rieger, which blows my mind that hasn't happened before. But you have two seniors that are in your position at tight end. You have Ben Armstrong, Nick Hudson. What great role models are those two guys, and what an example those guys are for Mason, who's just getting involved with varsity football. Talk a little bit about their senior leadership and kind of that group. It's that small handful of group, but, man, it's a good group.
I tell you what, when I walk and take pictures with the group and we're all standing on tippy toes to see who's taller, that's a good problem to have.
Yeah.
And I can't thank these guys enough for blessing me with this position group. And I tell Mason Rieger all the time, I said, hey, these two guys are going to play in college on some level or have the opportunity to play in college on some level. I'm going to be 100% in my position group. You got to hold up the end of the stick because these dudes, they work hard all day, every day. They come in summer. They work all spring. So I appreciate all the work they do and for setting up. And as I talk good on Ben over here, I can't talk too much good while he's listening. But no, I really appreciate all the hard work they put in and the long hours. And I know I'm tough on them, and they respond and play hard.
Yeah, but you were coached that way. Coach Mann coached you that way. Coached you hard. He loved you hard. that's the same mentality. I see it all the time. You guys are on them, but as soon as they're doing something, you're the first one there to congratulate them. You beat their teammates sometimes. I haven't seen you jump up and do the Coach Man, the excitement. So a good thing you're up in the booth, I think, most of the time, right?
Yeah, if you hear the glass banging, if you hear me banging on the table, that's probably because the tight end made some sort of block. I remember first game of the season when Mason Rieger had to make that start, had to jump in there. We ran a play where he's coming back and blocking the defensive end, and it was kind of like holding our breath because it was one of his first plays, and then makes the block. We hit it up there for about 15 yards, and I'm like banging the table and like cheering him on and high-fiving the other coaches. It's those moments that you really look for.
Yeah, and it's such a cool thing, I think, to have a Rouse alum come back and be successful at the high school level, go on to the college level. I mean, you're not going to tell anybody, but we'll tell everybody, All-American at U of H. You stepped into that role in your freshman year, right? And you were fortunate enough. Somebody went down, and next man up was Will Noble, and took it from there. And now you're getting to come back and teach these young Raiders. And if anybody's got skin in the game, you've got some skin in the game. And I think it's just such a cool thing. You have, Coach Mann being able to have Judson and Jace on the field at the same time in that first playoff game. Judson made a great catch. Yeah. Those things that I think people forget are really the cool moments that we try to talk about, we try to enhance. And those glass, just by the way, tell Coach Ramirez the glass is not soundproof. We can still hear in the booth. We hear the other coaches more than we hear you guys. So good. He's usually eating his sunflower seeds.
That comes with winning. You're probably going to hear some worse things. But
yeah, it's not too bad. I mean, it's the excitement is what we hear. Yeah, we want to high five you, but the glass gets in the way sometimes. But all right, so now the tough questions.
Oh boy.
All right, pre-game rituals. Did you have any while you were in college, or do you have any that like carry over now? Like I got to eat a certain food on Fridays, or I've got to wear a certain undershirt, or whatever. What's the case?
I have some rituals. Fun story. This is actually my freshman game jersey that I wore all season. It was 9 out of 10, so pretty good percentage there. But I have a same shirt that I wear every varsity game, same shoes, same belt. Part of it's because I lack style, and part of it is because a little superstitious, but nothing too crazy. I kind of walk the same way, be in the same places at different times of the game. In college, I was pretty big on not touching me, as weird as that sounds, but for some reason I was very just internal and just had to get myself psyched up. I wasn't bumping into people or anything like that, but once it was game time, it was a different switch.
All right, so what's your favorite food that you could eat 24/7?
Sharks Burger.
Sharks Burger. That's a good answer. Dino needs to go a little bit closer over here.
I'm open for a sponsorship. Sharks Burger.
Individual sponsorship. That jalapeno Jack jalapeno burger. Don't eat it at night. Eat it during the day, but it is amazing. It'll give you heartburn. Just speaking from experience.
I was going to say, it sounds like you've been down that road before.
Yeah, I've been down that road. Now, what's one food that you would never, ever eat again?
Probably oysters. I've had oysters before, and it's one of those things where some people love it and some people don't love it. And I was with some people that loved it, and I had to try it, and it was not my cup of tea. No, for sure, not oysters.
All right, favorite flavor of ice cream?
Favorite flavor of ice cream? I'm a big... Have you ever had I forget what it is, but it's cookie dough and cookies and cream.
Cookie two-step.
Cookie two-step, that's what it is.
Somebody said that last week. Oh, Mason said you have to try it. He was hooked on it, and I'm like, okay, well.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Plus, you can have about half the regular portion because it's dense.
It's just so much.
Yep.
All right, before we let you go, because we appreciate your time and joining us here and keeping that playoff tradition going, we're looking forward to the game this coming Friday. But anybody you want to give a shout-out to?
Just shout-out to my family. Shout-out to Raider Nation, my girlfriend, Kate. Hopefully she's tuning in.
Yeah.
Supporting, and, just all the supporters of Rouse. We appreciate the support. I'm in the box feeling the stands shaking, and it's a great feeling.
Yeah, we didn't tell our color commentator that was going to happen. The first time it happened, he freaked out just a little bit. I thought I was going to have to get some anxiety medicine to him, but yeah, it's good because that means we're doing well.
I've never been around an earthquake, but I imagine it feels something like that.
Yeah, something like that. So we're good. But Coach Noble, we appreciate it joining us here on Inside Raider Nation, and good luck and continue what you're doing.
Thank you very much.
All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we will have our Players of the Week from last week's game, and we will talk about that game, and then we'll have the game coming up against Floresville in the area championship. You're watching and listening to Inside Raider Nation here on A to Z Sports Media. Welcome back to Inside Raider Nation, live here from Sharksburger. We're going to talk, Coach, about the game, 59-6. We're looking back, and Coach, we're going to have to really do some research. 35-0 at the end of the first quarter, and I'm not sure if that's a school record. I think it ties for the most, but I will really have to do some digging, and I don't even know if Sterling could find that answer.
I think that was the fastest to 35 we've ever been. Yeah. You know, the Cedar Creek game, we were pretty often fast in that this year, but I don't remember being out like that. I mean, I remember when we went 35, and then we were just flipping, sides and went, holy cow. Yeah. And we really put 42 up really within the next drive, so which was pretty crazy, just the timing of how that happened. But that was something I was really proud of. I mean, like, that's what we needed to do as a good team. You know, we needed to come off. We needed to look explosive. We needed to get off to a great start, build a huge lead early, fast, that allowed us to do what we did throughout the rest of the game, which was get some other guys a lot of playing time, a lot of time on that field. No matter how many times you run through that tunnel, not once you step on that field Friday night, it's just different. And getting a lot of those guys an opportunity, which required our guys at start to do the thing. And as happy it was getting out 35-0, the way our defense came out. I mean, we played really good football the last 3 weeks, and we looked significantly dominant. I mean, I don't think they had a first down for a long time. No. They were negative in yards rushing, never yards in passing for a long time. I mean, they just flat running those first 4 or 5 series, put their foot down and said, no, you're not getting anything, honestly. And to their credit, and I know it looked real easy, but that offense with that quarterback has put people in trouble in situations. Mm-hmm. I mean, he's obviously extremely gifted. We've seen him scramble, get away from a lot of teams, and even against opponents that we could come up and see. I mean, they moved the ball in certain games on drives against starters, and there was nothing happening Friday night on that. So super proud of them getting us into the rest of our guys, which will kind of lead us to our Players of the Week.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about that, Coach. I looked down on the field, and I believe it was is it Blaine Simpson?
Yeah, Blaine was out there.
And Talbert.
Yeah, we had. There was one point.
Eberwine.
Yeah, we went in with Talbert, Eberwine, Tyler Evans, Blaine Simpson. All were freshmen played a lot on the D-line. Yeah. We almost had an entire freshman offensive line minus Aiden Acton at center and Cameron Kuhn at guard. At one point, we had a lot of them in. Yeah. We had receivers all game between, obviously, Keller Rocket, John Simmons, but then Judson Mann, Cade Jonda, Sean Nolan. All got in and got receptions in the game. I think we had 11 different receivers catch the ball, 13 total different people. When you had Cannon Rieger got a pass. I mean, you forget he's a freshman out there still playing. We had a lot of, Damian Lopez on the defensive side. But we had some key seniors that haven't got a lot of playing time. They got a lot of opportunities, too, to grow and play. It was fun to see Ryland Payne out there getting some snaps, Preston Welton getting snaps, all those guys that have, been down and, in those deals. It makes it a lot easier to come to practice when you get that opportunity and get some significant time. And like I said, those guys did a great job. And for us, even then, to start having freshmen and sophomores really rolling in that game from the second half on, especially the defensive side, and not give up any more points against an athlete like number 2 was. And 74 was a big old dude, and he played physical, nasty, and hard the whole game. They weren't really broken, and they were sound defensively in what they did. We just really performed better, and that's something I'm really proud of, that we held on like that with our younger group in there. So shout out to the program.
And you saw a lot of the varsity players, those younger kids, and they're coming off, and they did something well, and they're the first ones congratulating them. It's like I told Coach Noble, those moments, Coach, that people don't see and they don't realize they're just watching the game. You see from a standpoint of, you can remember when Justin Cannon came in as a freshman in the playoff game last year, and now he's a starter this year, how that's going to be so beneficial for these kids down the road, because they get a taste of it, and that keeps them hungry. That's for sure.
It was really cool seeing like Bryce Johns and Jay Ton, battling back and forth and moving the ball, and Jay Ton as a sophomore getting in the end zone was really cool, and they had a big jump celebration on the sideline. It was like a wave of mass humanity coming at us, so all that was really cool.
Yeah, we had to keep the camera on the tunnel just a little bit longer this week as the roster bolstered up, but we don't mind that, because that sea of black and gold looked really good. It really did. It really did. We're going to talk about the players of the week, Coach, and we're going to start with our sports med, our teacher, and then our scout team.
Sports med, Rob Bass, one of our English teachers at Rouse High School, has done a great job of mentoring and handling our kids. And then our scout team player was Mason Rigger. The way we kind of push some times back in practice, we lose some of those younger guys out there with us, and Mason has to sometimes jump in as an offensive tackle for scout team. And, he doesn't bat an eye, he doesn't complain, he just jumps right in, does a great job. And, it's one of those situations, he's got to be up early. We got healthy. His role hasn't been as big, but he's still going in on key moments in PAT. We got some offensive package. But for him to be that engaged, still go out there and give us the effort he needs at scout team, he is just – I forget he's a freshman, to be honest. He's really not. He may grade-wise be a freshman, but physically, football-wise, he's really starting to play like a upper-level sophomore, junior, and that's scary for a young guy as big as he is.
Yeah, and he has a couple of good examples at his position.
Yeah, that Ben and
he's
Nick,
okay.
They do okay leading him at times. Talking about Rieger.
We're just giving Ben a hard time because he's here at Sharksburger with us. We'll go to special teams next, Coach, and your kicker.
Yeah, Mason.
I think you talked about how many points he scored last week, but now you're getting Zach Ramirez, who's getting valuable time in. But I see why he only played pretty much the first quarter. I mean, think about it. How many times he kicked off, how many extra points. I'm sure he was tired. He probably could have kicked all day.
Well, and that field goal broke a school record.
Did?
That's the most field goals in a season now.
Yes.
That was one of the reasons why we went with him. He has the most PATs now. He has the most made field goals in a season with 8.
Still perfect.
And still perfect.
So,
that was a really cool moment. Just where Mason was, the last 2 years to where he's profoundly grown. And being that, you credit, back to Jacob, back to Zach Ramirez, back to other kids that were in our program kicking for us and leading it up. And, how much pride Will Fisher and those guys took into it last year. And you see it now because it's not just Mason, a great kicker. You mentioned Zach, and then that shows Justin Tatum and I want to say Christian Lyons. Connor Lyons. Yeah. Thank you, Connor Lyons. And when you have a handful of those guys kicking like that every year and developing it, you just rest it easy as a head coach because, you don't think about them until you got to have them, and then you're like, oh gosh, did we work this enough? Is he good from here? I don't feel confident. I didn't really. Coach Knight's done a great job with them, preparing them, keeping them engaged. They do different drills in practice, and he puts a lot of pressure in practice. So it's really fun to see Mason do what he's done this year.
It's been really cool to see, and I always knock on wood because every time I say that, I'm just afraid the broadcaster
Don't be the broadcast jinx.
Yeah, it's gonna be my fault. We're gonna skip over to the offensive player of the week and Travis Bartz. Coach, he's been on that offensive line, and you talked to Coach Noble and Coach Hayhurst about this, and they've done such a tremendous job. But there's been a lot of jumping around for some of these players, and it's almost people don't see it. You guys see it because you're in the trenches. We see it. I see it from a standpoint of like, oh, there's somebody different on that offensive line, or how clean they're keeping the pocket, or there's somebody over here. Oh, he's on the left side now instead of the right side. And this guy, he's been doing it all season long.
So proud of him. I mean, he had a good spring. We thought there's a lot of potential, but sometimes when coaches use that word, it means we haven't seen it yet. And so he had a good summer coming into camp, with Newman and Heacock, who both played a lot last year as well. Ely moving in, we really didn't know where Bart's fit in the rotation. Was doing fine. Nothing, he wasn't not playing bad, but there was some senior experience and guys that had veteran time. And probably, honestly, to be honest, we thought, Bart's is probably going to be the starting right tackle on the JV this year. And through a couple injuries, we bump him up halfway through that Westwood scrimmage, and all he's done is gone and started right tackle and gotten better and better into where he's a staple now. It's like, that's why you don't ever – everybody's like, oh, your depth chart's set. You already know who you're going to play. Like, no, we don't. And kids get the opportunity. This is one of those examples of he got a chance to start early because of injuries, and he just put his foot down, hasn't let up, and he's really been consistent. And it's just – those are the fun stories that you look at, and hey, who would have thought? And he's young. We're still got time left with him, so that's even cool that we're getting this young man this much playing time in this type of year. Real excited for that, and the way you mentioned with Wood and Newman. Newman, they're being supportive. Blake Meyer, Zach Allen, Alex DeVille, Ty Rabisky, all those guys. Now you got guys like Cameron Kuhn and some of those freshman linemen that are plussing in along with Cameron Munson and Jace Femnu on the JV line. It's Aiden Acton. It's starting to build that depth, and I like walking through the film room when Coach Ayers is showing the film, because usually they start off with some type of food review because you got to if you're on the O-line, and they get into different stories. It's pretty cool. It's a special group.
Yeah, it's
no doubt.
Yeah, they're doing extremely well. And this guy on the defensive player of the week,
Shane Hudson.
Shane, the man Hudson.
I don't even know Shane knew he was defensive player of the week. Yeah.
He's here. He's here at Sharksburger.
Shane,
we're just talking about
how you're defensive player of the week. Yeah, Shane came in. Shane's done a great job stepping up. Again, another guy that we weren't sure was going to be up, and because of kind of where injuries fell early, we had to get him up, and we were going to probably rotate him, and we didn't know if he was going to stay up all season, and had a chance to start against Anderson. We were just joking about that, how where he was that week to now. Played D-line for us again the game against Glenn. And each week he's just buying his time. He's got two good ones in front of him. But the way Shane approaches the way he approaches the football, number one of the hardest workers we have, a blue-collar type kid, I would say, and just gets after it every day. And he takes pride in everything he does out there. So real happy that the coach has got Shane on there.
Yeah, that was we saw him and the next guy quite a bit, and it was good to see them and just do their thing and get some valuable time.
Yeah.
And you got old Anthony Orange.
Peanut.
Peanut gets overall player of the week against Travis. And, he was in was halfway through the second quarter. Yeah, and, he got a lot of time. And you could just tell he started getting in his groove, and he was in on tackles. And you have those examples in front of you. He's one of those senior leaders that he's down on special teams. He just does whatever he needs to help the team.
He understood going in he was going to be a role player for us, and switched really this last year from running back to linebacker, and just got over the Coach Pels, and we saw something click. He's where he's overcome. He had a significant injury early in his childhood through, I believe, gymnastics, and has just battled through that, and I think really is now getting back into a position where he's feeling comfortable with himself and confidence. And it was so fun to see him running all the place. He does, like you said, contribute to special teams, tackle for losses left and right in the game, really anchored that defense down, and, again, helped continue to pitch them. When they got in, they shut them out almost the whole entire game. So credit to Peanut. I'm really proud of him. Remember from him walking in as a freshman to coming through offseason and just keep staying with it and not giving up has been special for him.
Yeah, what an example for a senior.
Oh, yeah.
For those kids that he was out there, those freshmen. You see so many examples of that. And I think about that as far as during that game, right? That's a valuable experience because it's going to continue on, and it's not going to be – every game's not going to be that way, but they're getting that experience and they get that hunger for it. So it's really – I think it's cool to see from a standpoint of of what you guys get to see week in and week out. But we're going to talk a little bit.
Did we do offense?
We did. We did offense. Yeah, Travis Bartz.
Oh yeah, Travis Bartz. I went blank. Never mind.
We're going to jump.
My bad. Just want to make sure we got them all covered.
Yeah, we got them all covered, Coach. And if not, you can check it out on social media. We'll post those tonight so everybody can see those. A to Z Sports Media, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. So check us out. We're going to go to, Coach, our highlights for Travis. And we'll start with and I really don't know the order of these plays, Coach, but we're going to stop. Now, here's we had David and Jacob doing the game, and I told them there's going to be some new wrinkles every week. And when we went off there for a commercial, David looked at me and he said, "You didn't tell me this was going to be a wrinkle." It was like it caught them by surprise. It caught everybody by surprise, but we'll let this play run here.
That was really fun. We have a whole segment to specials, each week, and some of that's trick plays, some of that's just formations and burst, and we've been practicing some of these for 2 years, and just new wrinkles to just get in, and we practiced it. It was a good time to use it. It jumped off sides the first down we did it, and then used it right back to back and got what we wanted out of that. So great job by them executing, getting set. Mason doing a good job there.
That's always tough, right?
Yeah.
It's good play action.
Oh my gosh!
And this was just unfair.
It's a great adjustment because honestly, they had not shown the press at all in any of their films. So we thought we were going to probably throw an 8 to 12-yard curl route over there. And again, we saw them walk up, checked it, and they just converted it. And result, great ball. The safety locked in on the tight end, and there we go. We're over the top and great. I mean, just on the fingertips. A great job. And I was glad Jalen got off to the fast start. Continues his year doing really well. That puts him over 1,000 yards. He was already 1,000. He's at 1,117 touchdowns now on the year for Jalen Becerra. Yeah,
it's just that's incredible.
Absolutely.
And it's just the defense here. It was, Coach. This was exactly what I thought we would see because of the confidence and how they just blew that up. I mean, the offensive lineman is pulling had no chance.
Yeah,
there.
Ben's just really playing at a level that's really high right now. O'Reilly's now finally healthy. We're seeing what we thought O'Reilly was going to bring early in the season. We're getting good timing now. We're getting out of him. Joseph's been consistent. Nico's playing better up front. Those guys are really getting there. And you're seeing how it allows the linebackers now to fit and scrape. And, Zach's been playing well. Dash has had the injury earlier and it's kind of coming in and out, and you're seeing his confidence the last couple weeks really emerging. He had a phenomenal practice this morning, and then obviously the outside backers have been doing really well this season, being consistent. Now that Christian's getting back to healthy as well, we're seeing some good fits, just taking on plays. Just great scrape by Dash right there downhill. Just unbelievable fit. See it from this tight angle. And that's because the D-line, again, is getting penetration. We're scraped. We're right where we need to be. And it was exciting to see because you saw what our ones did to them. And, I mean, we eliminated. And you can see there was a little drop. I mean, they started having success moving the ball, but not much. And you can see the level of play between the three levels. But that we were still able to contribute the way we did was really impressive. But those ones, the way they were flying around, I was like, dang. Yeah. I mean, like, they're getting after them right now. Oh, what a catch. I was so happy for Donnie getting that toe down. Great job. Unbelievable catch.
Yeah, you can see it here.
Again, a senior buying his time. Great job. That was a really good ball placement by Mason, and great job of Donnie getting up there and having the concentration to get his foot now.
Let's see if we can look at that tight angle again.
Yeah,
it warrants. We'll get this out of the way, Coach.
Yeah,
you don't need to see us.
Look at that.
I mean, as we just roll through it here.
Great high point.
Down.
Yeah.
I mean, the awareness to do that, but that's a senior.
Well, I'd like to tell. I think Donnie just watched that and got that from me over the weeks. Not really.
Coach was going to take credit for that. I was like, what?
No.
This one here, again, the defensive plays.
Good job, Christian.
Good, yeah.
He's a player, man. He had great body on him, physical kid. We watched him run around all the time, and it was like, gosh, him and 5 made me nervous coming in the game because they're the kind of, if you get a crease, they can go. And for us to hamstring them like we did was really impressive.
Yeah, but if you look right here, behind Christian is 5 of those Rouse Raiders flying to the football.
Yeah.
And if he didn't get him, it was going to be Zach or Big Ben or somebody here. And here we go with that empty formation again. We'll see it on the wide angle a little bit, but man, you get it out in space, and Justin Cannon, good blocks down the field,
Zach,
and just
Nick, they're getting great blocks. Justin being fast.
That always helps.
Yeah, it does. Good job getting set, finding our balance. There we go. Off to the races.
Yeah. Just broke away right there. He was, he's scary.
Yeah.
Scary. This one here, another defensive play, and I think this is, can't see this far away. I don't know if this is your.
Nick getting penetration along the lines again in the backfield. Good job by those guys here.
This one's a little bit closer. Still your one still in. This is early in the game, but yeah, you just watch Castaneda in the middle and Nico and Hudson. And Christian comes in and man, like that easy. And Marcus Waldman running hard again.
Good block by Jalen down the field again. Marcus had a great night. He had several I think 2 or 3. I think he had 2. I can't remember Cannon. I think he had 2 as well. Yeah, good night for him. I was happy he got the start, after coming off last week, finishing that game hard against Brenham and coming out and getting the start this week, and really did a great job because, there was times of the week we only had one running back going through practice, so we were really, really happy to see Marcus have a great game there.
Yeah, just the pursuit to the football there again. I mean, they were flying around, coaching. This is a good view of it, and we'll get ourselves out of the picture there so everybody can see that.
Get those ugly mugs off. Yeah, again, good job. Zach scraping, Christian taking on the block with his hands. Dash just free scrape, and that's what you want. That's what you love as a linebacker when your D-line does that for you. And you get to scrape, paint, and go.
This one again, Justin just
another good
blocking
balance
on that outside. Will Albright. Is that number 88? I think that's that little.
That is number 88.
Judson Man
ended
out there
up
blocking
on the field a little bit. Yeah, he did. I was really impressed. He did a great job blocking in the game. I mean,
there, you can see it in the vision to get outside and just use his speed there. But the blocks, I mean, always looking at those receivers doing that for their teammates.
Here's the record-breaking field goal from Mason Johnson.
32 yards from that right hash. Not always easy.
No,
but I mean everything. Coach, everything looked good. That's good, probably 42.
Yeah, he's consistent. 42, 45 is really still where we feel comfortable with his range.
Yeah, good hold. Alex back this week. That had to ease your mind a little bit.
It did, definitely.
Yeah, it's just like automatic.
This is where we got the freshman D. Well, we got freshman D-line plus Driggers in the game right here.
Yeah.
And so, that's Tyler Evans. I believe that's Hunter Simpson at the left defensive end there. Peanut scraping down the field. I think this is the turnover we get here in the game. No, that's just Heitzman on the edge.
Okay,
there should be a fumble play coming up. Yeah, great job by that group right there.
You can see this play again. I mean,
great job by Heitzman.
Yeah.
He's really come on.
He came up early too, I think, because of injury, right? And so he's been filling in and been doing a great job. But here up against their own goal line, Coach. I mean, what pressure for these guys? And
great job of Logan Fleming setting the edge, and then I believe that's Tyler Evans coming in and getting the nil. And I think I almost caught it. I was close to running on the field to get it, but did not. But we got the intentional grounding there, and that was a tremendous play. Backed him up, and we got off the field to give up any points. That's Zion in right there.
Yeah, Zion
at the nose.
Simpson.
Yeah,
you got Fleming and Heitzman in along with Shane Hudson and Hornsby.
Yeah,
I mean,
you got Blake Lawson in the back right now playing as well. Senior getting to get on the field and run around.
Oh, he had him. He was trying to pull the old Johnny Manziel. Try to throw it. Didn't work.
There's a lot of referees on the sideline right there.
Yeah.
Zach Ramirez, we definitely wanted to get him an opportunity just to continue to work the depth at punting, and did a great job. Came in, good high kick. Oof. Dangerous right there. We're going to have to do a great job this week covering punts if we have to punt, because they do a tremendous job returning the kick. So this is something that's going to be a big key to the game, I think, coming up this next week.
Yeah, it's that third phase of the game, like you said. It eases your mind when you have a stable of kickers back there that can do what they need to do.
That's Alex Vancy at quarterback. Yeah.
Yeah, throwing that old Judson Man there.
Great adjustment. That was a good adjustment to the ball right there.
Yeah. I'll get to see a good close-up here. See if we can.
Good protection. That's a freshman O-line. And like I said, with Aiden Acton and Cameron Kuhn with some freshmen, De La Garza, Tyler Evans, Winslow are all in that right there in that series. So that's real impressive. Here they are, big O-line, going to get some movement here. Get downhill. J-Ton makes a good sidestep. J-Ton punches it in.
I like the one at the end right there. I'm not sure who that is, but
it's Jet. I believe that's Jet right there. Yeah. And then Kuhn was real excited right there. That's just fun. You know, Rieger up there getting some work in. So super excited. You see all the guys jumping up and down on the sideline. So that was real exciting just to see all those momentum plays and stuff like that to happen.
Yeah, that was really good, Coach. We're going to take a break. We're going to come back, and we're going to talk about Floresville, the next opponent for the Rouse Raiders, as we go to the area championship this Friday at Bob Shelton Stadium in Buda, Texas. So we're going to take a break. We'll come back. We'll talk about that game and wrap it up here for Inside Raider Nation live from Sharksburger at the Cold Springs Shopping Center location. We'll be back right after this. The Crossover's vision is to give kids and adults a chance to find out what they're passionate about and to motivate them to work hard to achieve great things. We want to bring families together in one destination where they can enjoy their time together no matter what dreams they are chasing. From here, you can go anywhere. The Crossover is Cedar Park's premier sports, wellness, and entertainment destination and is a proud supporter of Rouse Raiders football. Visit crossovertx.com to learn more and go Raiders. Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue. Our pits are 100% wood-fired with oak, a slower burning wood than mesquite used by others. Along with thyme and oak, we cook with a dry spice that ensures each plate of Rudy's Barbecue is perfectly ready for you. Apply some of our famous sauce, and dinner is served.
Welcome back to Inside Raider Nation. Here, co-host Joshua Mann with the host.
I thought you were going to be
Sonny Sabetta.
Yeah, I thought you were going to
see, look how I did that. No,
take over number one. That's okay.
I'll stay two on this gig. I don't want number one on this gig.
I'll keep it. Hopefully this week, Coach, we're going to talk about Floresville. You get to play at Bob Shelton Stadium in Buda, so only an hour drive. So that's good for the second round, but. Floresville, it's not really a familiar opponent. I know you guys get film and you can kind of see that kind of stuff, but you really don't know unless you're at the game and you're seeing, okay, you know, this guy went out or they did this. You see film, but that can always be edited,
right? You get clips, you know, and it's usually, you know, a couple seconds before the snap and a couple seconds after. So sometimes they sub how you do that. So you're honing in your scouting material. Using different references really come into play when you start getting ready for an unfamiliar playoff opponent. You know, last year we kind of saw film on them last year because we thought they were a potential team. They ended up losing to Mercedes last year. So, you know, it's a growing program. And, you know, it's got always been really good in track, really good in baseball. This Coach Roars, has got the football program now headed in the right direction. I believe he told me this was their first playoff win, I think, in 18 years. So, you know, and then they've been close. You look at their games this year, on their schedule. They put up a lot of points. They've been in tight games. They only have 2 losses, which is the Bernie champion and Alamo Heights. That's not too shabby if you're just comparing, teams that you have played. And so then they both battled and played those teams close.
Yeah.
And so they do a good job, and they're going to come in and they're going to present, a great challenge. They're trying to continue to get there. Right now we've now hit our 10th all-time playoff win. That's 10 in 10 years. Right now we're sitting, at 10-1. They're 9-2.
Right.
So you got those things. We have a chance if we can take care of business this week to have the best all-time winning percentage at Rouse. We've never topped the 10 mark. Even in the semifinals and quarterfinals runs, we were 10-5 and 10-4 in those seasons. So that we can notch that mark now would be really cool history. But we got a big task in front of us. They're a well-balanced coach team. I don't see just a lot of holes from a schematic standpoint.
Right.
They're going to be sound in their X's and O's. They know their identity. They know their team. They really, I believe, kind of are heavier talent-wise on the offensive side for the most part. Not to say they play really good defense. They're going to be sound. They don't make a lot of mistakes on defense. They're going to try to make you execute and just out and physically beat them, and that'll be the challenge. But offense, it really starts with the quarterback, Fuller, number 12. He's a dual-threat guy. He's both a runner and thrower. This year he's thrown 92 completions for – 92 attempts for 154 completion. No, 92 completions, 54 attempts. There we go. Get it out. For 1,651 yards, he's having about 17.9. He's thrown 21 touchdowns this season, so that's impressive. Only 3 interceptions. Then you look at what he does on the ground, though. He's carried the ball 144 times for 1,094 yards, and so he's a 1,000-yard rusher.
Yeah.
7.6. He's had 13 touchdowns, so that's 20. Quick math, that's 34 touchdowns on the year that he's accounted for. That's a lot of touchdowns. So tremendous on that. He's about 6'2", 180. I think we found he's close to about a 4'6" guy. So he's a senior, and you can tell the way he plays. And games on the line, he's going to have the ball, so he's going to be a big challenge for us to stop this week. Really got to count for him. Then to complement it, they have a really good running back, number 5, Murphy. He's rushed for over 1,600 yards this season. That's a good amount. He has 24 touchdowns on the season. So, again, he's counted for a lot on the ground. He also was one of their top threats at receiver. He catches the ball in the backfield really well, kind of like somewhat we do Justin Cannon in some situations. So, you really got to count for that. I mean, you go, his 24 with the 20 – when I say 24, that's roughly 48, so much touchdowns on the year just between those two. So, obviously, you can see where the bulk of the offense. Now, that's not all they have. They have a really good receiver, number 3. He's got about 640 yards on the season. He's got 6 touchdowns. Big red zone target for them. They like to get him on the fade ball. They do a good job of throwing the fade ball in the red zone. So, overall from an offensive standpoint, they present a challenge. O-line is a big, good O-line. I would say they're comparable, to Brenham. A mixture of Eastview, Glen, in that range that we've seen this year. They remind me a little bit of I would say Anderson-ish in the way they play. A little bit of Brenham scheme with a little bit of Anderson's talent. So, it's going to be definitely a tall task for the defense. I believe we're up to it. Yeah. We played really well the last couple of weeks. Thought we had a great Monday, so I'm really excited to see what we can do there on that side.
So, do you think if your defense can be better, be good on the run and stop the run and make them one-dimensional and make them throw the football because they can't run it, do you feel like that the defense is going to be successful, more 3-and-outs? What do you think as far as the defense?
3-and-outs when you get this deep in the playoffs are going to be harder to get. You hope to get, if you can get 2 or 3 in a game, that's really good. And so we're going to have to get some stops. I think that is the big deal, is get stops. If it's 3-and-out, I'll take that. But definitely get some stops, force the tendency. They don't turn the ball over a lot. They're really sound in those areas. So it's about just forcing some punts in the game and getting some stops on the field. And, it's going to start on honing in on the run. You look at that between the two, they're over 2,700 yards rushing between just the two of them on this season. So that you got to start there. That's what they want to do. That's where they're averaging 269 yards a game rushing. So it's going to start there. They do a good job with that coming off with the play action. They're not a big explosive mesh, air raid, option route team, but they're going to boot off the run action. They're going to play action off the run action, get you to commit heavy in the box and get you one-on-one, and it's going to put our secondary is going to have to do a really good job of, because we're going to have some extra support in the box to stop the run. So that's going to mean corners and guys are going to at times be on islands, and they're going to have to play well when they're on that situation.
Yeah. So offensively, you come in and Mason is at over 3,000 yards on the season.
Yeah.
41 touchdowns, so he surpassed his season total from last year as far as touchdowns. Only 5 interceptions, and he's probably thinking at least 3 of those he would want back. He knows that, and he even told us that. But, I mean, he's playing so well, and so you know what teams are going to try to do. I think the thing is, and tell me if I'm wrong, but even on the defensive side, you now have more depth because you have some of those players that can sub in and still not wholesale subs, but like we're saying, but you're able to kind of fill in and kind of give different looks and really have, even on the offensive side with the receiving core, I got some running backs that can, give, Justin or Marcus a breather if they need it. Probably don't because those 2 guys are raring to go, but you know what I mean? It seems like there's more options for you guys, but what's going to be the key for the offense to keep doing what they're doing? Because now it's, like we talked about against Brenham, we got spoiled because we're used to going into halftime with a big lead, and now we just have scored 35 points in the first quarter in the by-district. That all goes out the window, right?
Yeah.
So what's going to be the key for the offense against this Floresville defense to help them be successful?
Staying on track and executing. I mean, that's the big part. They have played some really good teams. I don't think they played anybody with the number 10 and number 2 with a guy like number 11 throwing it to them. Yeah. Those guys are so dangerous. You never forget you can mix in, Corey Simmons at any time. Donnie Matthews has come on, started playing strong, and we've shown we have a little more depth now coming up at the receiver spot that, everybody that hadn't seen yet. But up front, we got to do our jobs. They're going to play a 3-4 scheme. Okay. That's what they kind of hang their hat on. A lot of cover 4. Which there's some opportunities to come forward to make corners be on islands. We got to take some shots for sure. But where we make our money is when we can go tempo, we can run at you, throw the RPOs, take the 5 to 6 yards, spread the field horizontally as well as vertically is what we want to do. We're very very Baylor-ish back in the day, Browse system, and some of that we do, and so. There's a lot of that come with that, and then we, execute on the new stuff. We add little wrinkles here and there every week. We got to execute that, and biggest thing is get healthy. We're expecting big games out of Justin Cannon and Marcus Wallman. We're hoping to have number 24 back in the mix this week. He'll be day to day. He'll be a game time decision as well. If EJ gets in that mix, it really becomes a fun threesome backfield again to pound it on. And I think the hidden thing besides the O-line is our tight end play. Nick has played very unselfish this year, blocked his tail end off, done a lot of great things, and then you Big Ben in the mix, and it just we can go from a heavy set to a speed set, shift out. We got to keep them on the heels, and we got to keep that confidence, and we got to assert that pressure because we've been on it on the other side when when you're down several scores and you haven't come close to stopping them, it can create a pressure. You start taking more chances. You might go for it. Onside kick, you might fake a punt, you may keep your offense down when you probably should punt the ball, but I'm going to go for it because we can't give them another possession. So it puts a lot of pressure on you when we execute, and this is, we make a lot of money on that side, so we need to go make a lot of money again. For us right now, they've scored 421 points on the year. We're at 505. They've given up 324. We've only given up 243. So you're looking at, if you want the numbers, guys, where's the advantage? Sure. We're at 172 yards rushing, 290 a game passing. We're averaging roughly 463 yards, 46 points a game. So we need to be on that mark. We need to be on our averages. I think we can hit our averages. Defense, I know, is going to play well. I think, we'll have an opportunity to potentially go. But, these games are won with special teams. You can't turn the ball over. You can't have silly penalties. You're going to have penalties. You're going to make mistakes. You got to avoid the negative penalties. I can't tell you how many times watching the film last week with them at Cherryland, I see a stop on 3rd down. All right, they should be punting. Whoa, why are they on the 45 now? Oh, there must have been, you're looking, and it had to be it's 15-yard variety type, so there had to be something there that kept their drive. We can't have those self-inflicting wound penalties, which have been blessed. We've been pretty clean on that here lately.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to knock on wood there. So those things are all going to matter. And then, you're going to have to punt the ball. when you do it, do you cover well? Be solid on your point afters. Don't go to have to chase points unless you just want to go for it on two, you know. And then, covering kicks and returning kicks. Those are always big parts that are those hidden yardage. We were blessed all night to start inside our 40 almost. Yeah. So those are going to be big things that are going to go in the game.
So let me ask you a question, because we're talking about special teams, and then we'll kind of wrap up. There's been times where you haven't fielded a lot of punts.
No.
And I know some of the hidden yardage, and it's just because they're probably not going to kick to Troy. I don't think I would.
No.
But there's a lot of times where, it's bounced and maybe got a good bounce, and he kind of lets it go. And so it's like, is he being told just kind of, let's just let it go. Let's not – we don't need that right now. And I don't think we've ever been in that situation where we need that play. I think because the offense is so explosive and the defense is playing well that it's just – err on the side of caution, I guess.
Yeah, we're pretty aggressive with our schemes up front. We're trying to get Daly on a lot of blocks. And when you become that aggressive hard, a lot of times you're leaving some free rushers down the field anyway. And we have different calls that we use throughout the game. And so it kind of tells Troy or Corey, who's ever back there, like, hey, we're probably coming after it. So if it's short, you don't like it, just get away. Let's make sure we got the ball, because they're going to have some free rushers. And there's certain calls we use that we're going to try to set up a return. So if you can get this one, this is where you need to get it. And not many people have kicked it right at Troy, and that you get those weird hops. And always told me, as long as we end up with the ball, I'm happy. And there's sometimes it's worth taking a risk on that, and sometimes let's not give any momentum over. So it's kind of Corey did a great job this past week catching. I think we returned more kick bunts than we had in previous games, basically because people don't want to kick to Troy, number one, and then two, we've been more aggressive up front. So it's just sometimes it's a decision we make that kind of helps lead them to what they're going to do.
Yeah, which like you said, comes to that third phase of the game, which is so important. And can really change a game. So, you just want to be fundamentally sound in that regard. But, Coach, it's Floresville and Rouse Friday, Bob Shelton Stadium in Buda, Texas, 7 p.m. kickoff for the area championship. Second time in as many years the Raiders have been there. We need Raider Nation to show up, be loud and proud, and cheer on the Rouse Raiders, because I know they feed off of it.
Yeah, absolutely. All the ticket sales are going to be online this week. I know the Booster Club is sending emails out with that information. Should be up on the school website as well. Basically, if you go to Buda Hayes Athletics, and it'll be on their homepage. So it's all sold through them this week. That's where you're going to get your tickets, we need support. We're going to be the visiting team, which at Bob Shelton's weird because it's on what we would traditionally call the home side, the west side of the stands. Is the visiting stands at Bob Shelton. The press box is actually on the east side. So if you were actually little Leander ISD history, when we got down here, Bible Stadium used to be that way. The home side was on the east side. So towards Baghdad Road, not opposite of it. Gotcha. And when we read Built Bible, they what I would say flipped it to normal, but that's just sometimes, where space and allotment factor into those things. So, be there. We'll be in our all whites and ready to go to work and excited to see everybody there. And it's going to be a fun game. And, this is that time of year. At this point on, every team we play is good. Everybody's fighting for that opportunity. Everybody wants to practice over Thanksgiving and all those fun things. And sure, there's I've had to work on what's going to come ahead, because you have to start doing stadium arrangements, and we know what. If anybody's looked at the bracket, they know what's on the other side bracket. That's cool. You got to take care of this side first, and so we got to go out there and execute. Which the way we practiced this morning, I was very pleased. I thought it was a really good Monday. Got to follow that up with a good Tuesday, Wednesday. We got to eliminate distractions. Go to class, get off their phones, do their homework, do all the things that they're supposed to do there to keep us on track, so that we don't have anything done that takes away from our opportunities on the field.
Or missing opportunity to be in this exciting time of playoff football for the Rouse Raiders.
Coach Ramirez's wife said it really well to him. He was getting up to go to work Sunday morning because you're a little tired, and you're like, here we go. And she's like, just look at it this way. Last week there were 64. There's only 32 left. After this week, there's only 16. Regardless, you're in a rare group right now. Yeah. So go have fun while you're doing it.
Absolutely, and we're going to look forward to it. And as we said, A2ZSportsmedia.com, we have the link up there where you can watch the game online, or if HS picks the game up, then we'll have the information there, and the Booster Club will be aware of that by noon on Wednesday. So we're kind of at the mercy of that, but we'll let you know. But, Coach, we're going to be there one way or the other.
Amen.
If I have to sneak in an equipment bag, it'll be a big equipment bag, but I'll sneak in somehow. I couldn't pass for a player unless I dye my hair. These blonde highlights are giving it away, I think.
Yeah.
So
Blonde.
Blonde. We're going to go with
Well, I
blonde.
wear a hat a lot.
Yeah. But we want everybody to come out and support the Rouse Raiders in their area championship game. We appreciate the Booster Club and all they do. Appreciate Dino and all the fine folks here at Sharksburger for always hosting Inside Raider Nation. We're going to continue this until the end. We're looking to December. But
It'd be nice.
yeah, we're gonna plan on being there Friday, covering it one way or the other. So we'll let you guys know how to catch all the action, whether in person or online. If you want to stream it, we'll let you know that as well. So for co-host Coach Mann, for all the A to Z Sports Media team members, those that are here behind the camera, not actually working the camera, but everybody's behind the camera, and everybody that supports Rouse Raider football. For A to Z Sports Media, I am Sonny Zapeta, voice of the Raiders, saying good night and God bless. And as always, go Raiders.